This is the Wandering Mike.
Welcome everyone to the Wandering Mike. Today I'm here with Dana. Hey Dana, how you doing?
Oh, groovy like a drive-in movie, Mike, as always.
Yes.
Yes.
I, c- I could have sworn that you were just gonna say, "Oh, I'm fine,"
No,
but
man, never. I've always got a good answer for that question. It's either like, how are you? Oh, good, considering arson, or, it's always going to be
perfect.
any better and I'd be dangerous. Oh, yeah, I've always got something up my sleeve.
Very nice. Um, yeah, I'm excited for the conversation. Even more so now after your first for your first answer.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, to get this thing rolling, if you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your life, your journey, anything really that you want to share.
All right, sweet. Very open-ended, I like it.
It is.
Yeah, well, I'm 22-year-old Aussie girly pop from Newcastle, Australia. Yeah, just looking for some adventure and travel. So yeah, found myself in New Zealand working as a hiking guide. I'm absolutely loving it. Yeah, beautiful scenery, like groovy crew. And I got to meet you, Mike. So yeah, it's been pretty groovy so far. Yeah.
Nice. So, what kind of inspired that? Because hiking guide, that's quite an exciting job.
It is.
So yeah, what led up to that? How did you get here, so to speak?
A lot of existential crises. I was telling you before, I looked up on Seek and I just had a moment. I was like, you know what? Let's get rid of the filter. No filter. So I was just looking for jobs across Australia, and then I really wanted to work overseas. And I've been to New Zealand before, so I thought it was a good place to start. Yeah, and I've done adventure guiding before for different activities, and I think it's really good to focus in on one activity rather than spread myself over a few for a change. Yeah, so found myself here, and I'm loving it so far.
So you said adventure guiding. So
Yeah.
what did you used to do? Like, well, what's your experiences?
All right, groovy question. So I was guiding people through like abseiling, kayaking, quad biking, a little bit of bushwalking, and then also
Mm,
like leading people in laser skirmish as well outside in the bush. So that's heaps of fun. Yeah,
mm.
some people get really competitive with it and they get into it, which I like to see. Yeah, and then some people take it a little bit too seriously. So
Right.
it's always interesting. Depends on the day, depends on the group. Yeah, so I've been doing a wide range of stuff. Yeah. I was also doing some Duke of Edinburgh award programs. So it's like an adventure program for school kids. It's
Oh,
really good. Yeah. So it kind of teaches them basic skills, like just like camping, even just putting up a tent, like some navigational skills, going on little hikes or day pedals. So yeah, it's really good for them. Yeah. So
that's that's pretty nice.
yeah.
So the all that ultimate hikes business is probably like that's easy peasy to you because
Oh,
like you've been camping, like you've been
yeah.
actual. I mean, yeah, it's not really camping what you do. Like you
Yeah,
got your
exactly.
lodges, you always know. Uh, even though, and that's what maybe made me enjoy it even more. Because I
Mhm.
did the Melfort track as well.
Oh,
Because
sick. Awesome.
they gave
Yeah.
me a discount, so I did the guided tours with um Helen, which I don't think you've met her
Oh,
yet
I
because
haven't
she's
yet.
not staying here at the hostel.
Mm.
Um, but it was so fun, and I could just enjoy my whole day because it was like, oh, it was raining when I was doing it. Like
Yeah.
we had a bunch of rain, and I was like, oh, this is so nice. This is so nice. But I knew I was gonna come back to the lodge, have a nice and warm
Yeah.
shower, gonna have some nice dinner. Like
Oh, chef cooked meal. Oh my lord. Yeah.
so. So yeah, this kind of must feel like the easy mode for you.
Yeah, sort of. In a way. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. It is very nice to like, at the end of the day, wrong day of hiking, whether it's rain or sun, whatever you've gone through, challenges, ups and downs of the day. and you get, a bed with a comfy mattress, like chef cooked meal, hot shower. It's like bougie, like level
Yeah,
hiking for me. Yeah, which I'm not used to because, usually you finish the day, you gotta like set up your tent, your sleep system, like cook dinner on
exactly.
your tiny like hiking stove. So small, yeah. And like that stuff's good fun too, but yeah, this is just such a good change. Yeah. So something different to spice it up a little bit. Yeah.
So, did you enjoy that with the kids, especially? Like kind of teaching them these kind of things and seeing hopefully, I don't know, maybe some kids just dreaded it, but hopefully seeing the excitement and like
Yeah.
seeing them like, oh, nature.
Yeah, it was. It was really rewarding. I found because I've worked at school camps before, and usually school camps, like kids kind of feel like they have to be there. It's something they have to do.
Right.
They might not enjoy it as much or be as engaged, but with the Duke of Edinburgh programs, it's something they picked to do, and they like kind of look forward to it. Or
Yeah.
even just the kids seem to be more adventurous, like brave, outdoorsy. So it's more rewarding when you are able to teach them something, even if it's just, how to use a compass. And then you see it in action and they're actually doing it. And they're like, oh, miss, is this right? You're like, oh, yes, you're doing so well.
Yeah.
Like, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah, very powerful and, yeah, super rewarding work doing that. Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, it's probably out there, but sometimes I feel like even as an adult, why isn't there something,
I know. Well,
for
there should
for
be.
us to like
Yeah,
just learn these
exactly.
things, like you said, like these school camps they had and like trying to remember like Boy Scout, Girl Scout kind of things. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's what they call it over here as well, but like these kind of things, it's like why can't I get into that when I'm 30?
I
You know?
know, yeah. And it's just like such good life skills as well, like starting a fire or, just knowing how to navigate, which, we don't need as much these days because we've got Google Maps and, we've got the internet and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, and it's stuff I didn't learn as a kid either, Like I didn't grow up doing much camping. I just went on school camps and I loved it, So yeah, it's very rewarding to be able to teach kids these skills and know that they'll have it later on in life if they need it. It's there. Yeah, but I agree. There should be like some kind of adult camp, where we can learn these things as well. Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah.
Um, I also, and I'm just assuming, is that you enjoy nature, like you kind of, because otherwise you might have chosen a different job. So,
Yeah.
is that something special to you as well? Like, what is your relationship to nature?
Mm. Yeah, excellent question, Mark. Oh, that's a beautiful question. Um, yeah, I think I found my way more into nature the older I've gotten. Especially, when I finished school and I wasn't too sure what to do with myself. And I didn't want to go from sitting in a classroom to sitting in a different classroom. So
Right.
I picked the outdoor classroom. Yeah, so I kind of found my way into nature and I'd always liked being outside and, doing different activities, but I just developed a different level of enjoyment with nature. Yeah, and now I'm most of the time I'm outside or under the sun or in the water or something. So yeah, I just absolutely love it. And being in nature is just so good for like, mental health and your soul and just, even just getting the right vitamins and, everything from nature. It's where we've come from. So yeah. And you get so much from nature, just enjoyment and peace or sometimes chaos because, nature isn't always peaceful and beautiful. Sometimes it's
Right.
crazy, you got rainstorms, whatever it is. So, yeah, I think to love nature, you have to love it all, Mother Nature's moods, not just when it's sunny and nice. Yeah, you've got to enjoy it all the time. Yeah, and I've been in some very adverse weather conditions before. So, yeah, I definitely love nature. Yeah, very much enjoyed being outside of it.
That's a great point, actually, though, because um, the people on this podcast they've heard me a lot of times now. Maybe too many for them. I don't know, but no, people always heard me talk about nature and also kind of saying similar things to what you just said, saying that the connection with nature that we as humans have is just so important, and it's it's so good for us. And yeah, basically just concentrating on the positive aspects of nature. So something they haven't heard a lot, actually, that's why I'm glad you brought it up, is that obviously nature can be harsh as well. So do you have some of those experiences maybe to share, and to also see that obviously you're sitting here, so you have overcome them. So
Yeah.
so did you have like quite harsh experiences as well?
Yeah, I have. One that comes to mind, and it sounds terrible, but I do think of it as the hike from hell. It's kind of, you know how you have type 2 fun. So it's like it's not so fun in the moment, but you look back on it, you're like, oh yeah,
Right.
like I learned a lot from it. But it was in the Budawangs in Australia, and we had about like 200 to 250 mil of rain over the course of
Mm,
3 days. And it was a training trip. So, we were doing some off track navigation, like the instructors were assessing us, watching how we're going, how we deal with things. And then we had a day that we just had 100 mil of rain in that day.
mm,
And the day after that, we were supposed to be finishing the hike, and
right.
we had one last river crossing that we had to pass before we got to the bus, and then we'd be finished with the trip, drive back to Newcastle, all done. However, because of the rain, the river had swollen so much that it was literally like white water. Like, it was moving so quickly, it was so wide, like we definitely would not have been able to, get through it with our hiking packs and everything. So I still remember this. One of the teachers, the instructors came back up. She'd been looking at the river, came back up the hill, stood before us with her hands on her hips, and was like, "Okay, guys, I don't know how long we're going to be here."
Mm,
And in my head, straight away, I was thinking of how much food I'd packed, like how much I had left, like if I needed to ration it for a few days, how far it was going to last me. So essentially, because we couldn't cross the river to get to the bus and finish the trip, we had to camp another night. So, and it
wow.
was a super boggy area too. And like everything was, even more wet because of the amount of rain we'd had. So
Mm,
it was like, everything was wet. We were wet. Our tent stuff was wet. So it was a little bit hectic, but we managed to set up, like, have a dinner, get a good sleep, and then, for the next morning, the instructors had to come up with a bit of a plan because we were gonna be stuck there for a few days if we stayed in the same spot, and the river wasn't gonna go down anytime soon. There was
mm,
more rain forecasted, so it was all a bit hectic. So essentially, we had to self-evacuate, and bush bash to another, I can't remember, maybe 15 kilometers. Yeah, just to yeah, get to another spot where another bus could drive all the way
mm,
down from Newcastle, to pick us up. Yeah, so nothing went to plan pretty much. That saying,
right.
anything that can go wrong will go wrong. That happened on that trip. Yeah, and it wasn't just like the physical challenge of being like wet and cold all day, and walking in, what's considered miserable conditions. It was also, like, such a mental challenge just to, like, keep walking, and,
Right.
and you gotta be on top of navigation, and yeah, so it was definitely a good challenging trip, and I did learn a lot from it, but at the time, I was like, "Oh my god, like, I just wanna, be warm and dry and be done with this trip," but yeah, definitely a good experience. Yeah, so yeah, that's a good one with adverse weather conditions. Yeah, good fun.
That's
Mm.
when Mother Nature kind of reminds you, well, you might have all these plans, you might have your bus booked and
Yeah.
everything, but uh, I'm still in charge, you know?
Oh, yeah. Mother Nature was showing us her teeth that day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah, that's and like you said, the mental aspect of it all as well, because you have that plan in your head, oh, the trip's gonna last like however many days,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
you like kind of relieved. Oh, it's just that river crossing. We're ready.
Yeah.
Like maybe some of you guys were already with the heads. You were on the bus, like oh, we're
Exactly.
almost done,
Yeah.
and then yeah, that's
Mm.
you're basically at nature's will
Pretty
at that
much,
point
yeah.
when you're in her
Oh,
playground.
for sure, yeah. Goodness. Mm.
But yeah, even those experiences, or maybe maybe even especially those experiences, we can definitely learn a lot from,
Oh
and
yeah.
um, maybe things we don't. I mean, it's not pleasant to learn them, but it's
Yeah.
maybe necessary to learn them.
Mm.
You know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And the more difficult, yeah, learnings are always, when you make mistakes or when you have adverse weather conditions or yeah, they're always much more difficult. But yeah, it's very important for us to learn them. Yeah. Mm.
So, um, I mean, obviously, that's a difficult question. To answer, and obviously it might change, but just sitting right now, sitting right here,
Mm.
um do you feel like that's something that you will just like that will be with you for the rest of your life, or at least the foreseeable life, is like doing something where you're connected with nature and where you get a chance to um maybe even work, or maybe just
Mm.
as a hobby, but ideally like work in an environment like that, like
Yeah.
out in nature.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Even if it's not a career or a job that, um covers me for life. I might end up doing something later on, something different for work, but I think definitely as a hobby and just recreationally, I'll always, find myself in nature. Yeah, like there's so many different activities I enjoy. There's so many places I want to go, and yeah, there's things to see, and the whole world's out there, right? So yeah, got to go out and see it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
um so I mean, I probably know the answer, but may also not, so I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah.
So you being here in New Zealand, is
Mm.
it the very first time that you're outside of Australia? Have you been overseas before?
I've been to New Zealand before. So this is my second overseas trip, but I haven't actually gone anywhere else. Yeah, so
Right.
yeah, otherwise it's just been Australia, but I've got so many different places that I want to go and plans that I want to put into play. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot more overseas travel in the future. And I think too, this is my first solo travel trip. So, I've
Mm.
come over here. I didn't know anyone here. I don't have any family or friends here. So, yeah, it's just a really good confidence boost that if I can, survive here, well, that's one step towards, being more independent and being more confident with traveling overseas and, yeah, even just doing things by myself. Yeah, so it's a lot of firsts being over here for me. So, yeah, little,
Very, very exciting.
yeah, I know it is. Yes. Thanks, mate. Mm.
And yeah, basically, from the outside looking in, you're doing a great job. Like you were thrown in. Like you came here a couple of days later, um, or like even a day later, you even started your training, and then a couple of
Yeah.
days later, you were out on track already, and
Yeah.
so exciting times.
Oh yeah, it's been a busy week and a half, that's for sure. Yeah, kind of chucked myself in the deep end, but that's how you find out if you can swim. So yeah, I've been very much enjoying it. Yeah, I still got to work on my cooking. I'm getting there with cooking. I'm experimenting and I'm learning as I go, but yeah, I've been enjoying all the little challenges that have been coming my way just with solo traveling and yeah, it's been groovy.
um, on that note, if we um, can take it to some of the more philosophical questions that I
Hmm.
love to ask
Oh
on
yes.
this podcast. Um, so, um, yeah, like you said, you kind of have your eye on, just exploring more of this world as well,
Mm.
traveling some more. Um, so at the moment, how would you define for yourself, or what would you think that a happy, fulfilled life would look like for you?
Oh, oh, that's an excellent question. Ooh, happy, fulfilled life. For me, that looks like lots of nature, time spent doing things I love. So, whether that's like hobbies or traveling or, engaging in different activities that I enjoy. Um, also just spending time with family and friends, and your loved ones, that's so
Right.
important. And yeah, as much as I've enjoyed solo traveling, I've also enjoyed finding people here and making friends and meeting you, Mike. So yeah, that's definitely part of how I see a happy and fulfilled life as well. And also just finding peace and happiness in the small things. That's what I've been learning more recently. Usually human nature kind of tells us, "Oh, I've done this. I have to do something bigger and better now."
Right.
And you can try doing bigger and better, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and eventually you can't do anything any bigger and better. I suppose there's always different things to do, but yeah. So I've been really enjoying the small things. Yeah. So just like a cup of coffee or trying some new food at the markets like we did today.
Right.
Yeah, and especially which is so easy to do at work at the moment as a hiking guide. There's so many beautiful small moments that, I can just find peace in those and happiness. And yeah, so I think if you're always enjoying the small things, you'll just have a fulfilled life. Yeah, because you're not searching for anything. You're enjoying what's been given to you.
That's so wise.
Oh, is
You
it? Oh.
you sure you're not 44?
Oh, look, are we talking like mentally or physically? Because my body feels like 80, but oh goodness. Oh,
Uh, no, but that's definitely um I also, and I say this a lot, I am a person who believes in goals, and that
mm,
definitely sees a like a definitely positive effect from setting goals and setting
yeah.
like goals in the right way as well. But I definitely agree with everything that you just said about
Mm,
we just need to um yeah, enjoy life basically. Well, we don't need to, that makes it sound like, but like there is so much beauty in the small things, like you said.
exactly. Yeah.
And um yeah, definitely shout out to Sri Lankan food because
Woohoo!
like the
Yeah.
chicken kotu that we just
Oh,
had,
beautiful.
shout out to Remarkable's shop. No, what's it
Oh, the
called? The,
market,
the Remarkable
Remarkable's
Market.
markets.
So anyone in Queenstown listening to this, make sure on Saturday to hit up the markets
Woohoo.
and see our guys at the Sri Lankan stand
Heck
because
yeah.
that food was amazing.
So good. I'm still food covering from it, Mike. Oh my goodness.
Oh. No,
Mm,
that was yeah, like something new
yeah.
that I hadn't had in a long time, like food that I hadn't tried before.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of it before. And
Same.
so good. Oh yeah.
So yeah, basically, um, no, there's a lot of wisdom in that. If we can just enjoy our days,
Mm.
that's basically that's all we have. Because all
Exactly.
we live is basically each day. And I feel like that's a sentence I've said a bunch of times already, but it's like the only time you ever truly live in is the present. Like
Exactly.
you never live in the past and you
Yeah.
never live in the future. Like I said, it's
Mm.
healthy to an extent to think about the future every now and then and
Yeah.
set like goals in motion to make sure not to forget about them. If there's
Mm.
something really true and dear to your heart that you
Yeah.
want to achieve, you definitely need to um, put these goals in your head so not to forget about them.
Mm.
And maybe there is also occasions where it is healthy to um, go into the past and maybe really see things that happened where you can learn from them.
Yeah.
It does happen, but overall, I say dwelling too much in the past or having your head too much in the future definitely hinders you from basically enjoying the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've definitely been guilty of that before. Yeah. It's definitely good to reflect on, past experiences or moments or even people and things. And you can learn a lot from that. But yeah, I agree. Like being too much in the past or the future, it's not good for you. You want to enjoy the present and yeah, be in the place with the people that you have around you, because you might not ever be here again. Yeah.
Because I really like that answer. Another thing that I always love to talk about as well is well, some people it's religious, for some people like myself it's a spiritual belief,
Mm.
for some other people it might just be a philosophical belief. Is there anything like that, any sort of belief system that helps you live your life, or that guides your life day to day?
Hmm. Excellent question. I'm not super religious or spiritual. I do like to think that, there's someone up there, above the clouds looking down, looking after us. Yeah, but in terms of beliefs that guide me, it's kind of just lessons that I've learned over life. I just let experience kind of guide me along, and yeah, yeah, kind of just lessons I've learned. And I kind of have a few little mottos to myself that I live by. And, if I'm in a difficult moment or in a moment where I'm not sure what to do, or I kind of just go back to those little mottos or like life lessons and let those kind of guide me.
Right. So basically learning as we go,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
Just picking things up along the way. So we have, or you've mentioned that there are some places that you want to see,
Hmm.
and I always love to talk about travel.
Oh, yeah.
So I always love to get inspired as well. So,
Mm.
um, what are the countries that are on your like immediate list?
Oh, goodness. How long have you got, Mike? Oh, Lord. Oh my goodness. Well, I've got um my mum is English, and I've
Hmm.
got so much family in England that I've never met. I've never really talked to. I've kind of seen them on social media, but yeah, I've never really had the chance to connect or get to know them. So I'd love to do a Europe trip with, yeah, a big stop in England just to, yeah, meet more of the family, and yeah, and then I think I'd just love to go around all of Europe, like, pretty much however many countries I can get to. Yeah, and, I think I'd either train it around there or just backpack, because there's something so satisfying about being able to carry everything you need just on your back,
Right.
and just being so minimalist and just, yeah, traveling so light. Yeah, I'd love to do that, but I'm also a very big foodie, so pretty much, oh my goodness, like, going to France would be awesome. Definitely Italy, for the pasta and the pizza and the
Yes.
cheese. I said to you earlier, I think today, like, one of my life goals is just to own a wheel of cheese. And I can link that back to the question about a happy, fulfilled life. If I own a wheel of cheese, I've done something right and I will be content. Yeah, so pretty much wherever I can go through Europe, yeah, I'd love to go through there. I've also got some family in, Germany, and I haven't met them either before, so
Oh, nice.
yeah, got quite a bit of, yeah, European family, so yeah, it'd be lovely because my family in Australia, we're kind of all a bit separate. Yeah,
Mm.
like, members of my extended family are in Queensland, so we don't get to see them very often, so, yeah, I'd just love to meet more family and kind of, yeah, connect with some blood relatives. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm.
If you have that across the world, because it
Mm.
again gives you a little bit more motivation
Yeah.
to actually go abroad in the first place, and um, especially Europe not being the closest to New Zealand and
Yeah.
Australia. It's quite like when I came over here, I was like flying for 20, well, not just flying, but the whole trip
Oh,
took
yeah.
like 26, 27
Yeah,
hours
that was a long
to,
travel
to
day.
get
Oh
to
my.
Auckland. So,
Yeah, goodness me. Mm.
um, but yeah, the beautiful thing about Europe that probably like is so different to Australia, where you just have Australia, this huge country.
Yeah.
Um, obviously inside of Australia, you also have a lot of variety, and you have like
Yeah.
differences that you pick up on that you know, like Western Australia
Mm.
definitely is different to Queensland, is
Ooh, yeah.
definitely different to Victoria, is definitely
Mm.
different again to Tassie. So
Yeah.
um, you have this variety inside of your country, but in Europe, you just have a variety of countries so
Yeah.
close to each other, and each country having its own language, its own rich culture, and
So cool.
that's definitely a very cool thing about Europe is that
Yeah.
everything's so close. And
Mm.
in theory, if you had all the time in the world and all the leg strength in the world, you could probably walk
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
like all these different countries.
Mm.
You know, just walk for a day and you're all of a sudden in Spain. And you walk a little more, you're in France. You
Yeah,
walk a little more,
exactly.
you're in Germany. You walk a little bit
Yeah.
more, you're in the Netherlands, and
Yeah, so cool.
everything's so close.
It's like you can drive like 4 hours in Europe and you've crossed like 2 different countries, and then you
Yes.
drive 4 hours in Australia and you're like 4 hours out of the city. Like, you don't get anywhere, you know? Oh, like, you might get to another little town or something, but yeah, it's definitely nothing like Europe. Yeah, it's so cool. Mm.
Um, I mean, yeah, England obviously not being part of the like the continental
Yeah.
Europe, but also not too far away from everything.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
um, that's pretty cool. And even for myself, I still have a lot of countries that, to be fair, aren't like on top of the list. Kind of probably always because I knew I was so close to it. So there was like no hurry in my mind, you know?
Yeah, I understand what you
I
mean.
wanted to be like, "Oh, yeah, I need to go to the United States," you know? When I was a kid, I, was really in love with the United States, and I was
Mm.
very, fortunate that my parents actually took us on vacation there quite a lot as well.
Oh, cool,
Um,
yeah.
so that's, like, one of the things I did for myself, as well relatively quickly. Um, I was, like, a big fan of Southeast Asia, so it was, like,
Mm.
Thailand, Indonesia, all these places.
Nice.
And, yeah, kind of always, yeah, well, uh, Europe's always there, and now I'm in New Zealand, and Europe's not not right there,
Exactly, it's so far away from here.
but,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure eventually I'll end up there again, for a
Mm.
short time, for a long time, I don't know yet, but I'll definitely, um, be there at some point again, and there's yeah, just and I've lived in Portugal, so I know how, like, full of life these southern
Mm.
countries are, especially,
Yeah.
I love Portugal. I love the Portuguese people,
Mm.
being so, like, loving, and you just have this whole community. And it's the same, obviously, in Spain, in Italy, um, maybe not in France. No, I'm just kidding. There's like a healthy rivalry between Germans and French. So
Ooh, I'll keep that in mind. I'm taking notes.
um,
Mm.
no, the French, obviously, as well. And yeah, that's and just yesterday I talked with someone as well about like the Balkan states, like the
Mm.
ones more east, like southeast, not like the ones going closer to Russia, but they are also beautiful and also have their own
Mm.
culture. But especially these southern eastern, like Croatia, like Albania, Serbia,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, also so rich in culture and so laid back. And yeah, talking about it, like, Europe can be its own, probably, like, year of travel, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see a lot of
Absolutely.
things just going from place to place.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I think if I was well, hopefully when I go to Europe and do a trip, I'd love to go for like a year. I'm not sure what the requirements are for like visa or like, working over there, but it'd be so cool to like travel a little bit and then work in a spot for a while and then travel a bit
Right.
more and yeah, just to make it a bit more affordable and sustainable, because Europe is very expensive. But also, yeah, just to be able to slow the travel down, and really like
Right.
experience the culture and the lifestyle rather than kind of zipping through, seeing all the main spots and then being straight off to the next spot. Yeah, I think that'd be a cool way to do it. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's why on my own I objectively probably haven't seen as much as I could have because my kind of travel is kind of similar. Even if I only travel to a place,
Mm.
I won't go like, oh, I'm gonna be in uh Thailand for the next 2 weeks and go like, okay, let's do an itinerary where I
Yeah.
do like 5 things every day, and
Oh
then it's
my
like, oh, and I
goodness.
can see this and I can see that.
Yeah.
But I'm more like, all right, I'm gonna go there. Obviously, I got like accommodation booked for the first couple of days, just
Mm.
so I'm not gonna be sleeping on the
Yeah.
street. Uh,
Peace of mind for the first few nights. Yeah.
but then it's kind of just going with the flow a little bit. Obviously, there every country I go to, there's a reason I go to. So
Yeah.
there's some things that I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to see
Yeah.
this.
You got to tick them off the bucket list. Yeah.
But in general, I just love to like stay in a place like for longer as well and just like immerse yourself a little bit,
Yeah.
um, maybe have that same cafe that you go to in the morning, and just greet the
Yeah.
guy and just have a
Mm.
conversation with the shop owner for a little bit and just
Yeah.
kind of like taking it slow. Even on my like holiday travels, I tend to do that. I don't want to like rush through it and
Yeah. Exactly.
just
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I've seen everything that Thailand has to offer in 2 weeks. Why? Why,
Yeah.
why would I need to
Exactly.
do that?
Yeah. And again, yeah, like I mentioned before, when you do that, you kind of go to the big, moments and the important things, and then you miss the small moments, like, going to the same cafe every morning, getting to know the locals, like enjoying the spot.
You mentioned as well when you were talking about Europe that you're a big foodie.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a topic that we always love to discuss as well. And the goal is always to get people hungry. No, dude.
Mike, I'm always hungry. I'm like eating dinner, I'm thinking about dessert. I'm eating dessert, I'm already thinking about breakfast. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just never not hungry. Oh, goodness.
No, but it's always nice if we can inspire people a little bit and maybe give some recommendations
Mm.
that they haven't heard of before. So yeah, basically my go-to question is just always and I have a feeling it might be Italian, but it might not. The way you talked about Italy, but what
Mm.
what would you say your favorite dish that maybe you prepared for
Mm.
yourself, but maybe it's somewhere you ate it in a restaurant. Like, well, what's the favorite thing you reckon you ate?
Oh, goodness me. I've eaten a lot of good food, and I'm also very indecisive, so this is a difficult question.
Well, you could also do the
Mm.
top three, top five. The
We'll go
more, the
for a top
merrier.
3, and then I'll probably think of more along the way, and it will become a top 5 and then a top 10, and but I'll try and keep it low. Okay, one of them is, back in, Newcastle in Australia. My family and I have our favorite Thai food restaurant, and
Mm.
I wish I was exaggerating when I said I've probably been to this restaurant, like, over 30 times.
Really?
I love it so much. Yeah, I've been there for, like, friends' birthdays, I've celebrated my birthday there, like,
Mm.
had, so many beautiful family dinners there. It's called The Grain, so if you're ever in
The grain.
Newcastle, go to The Grain. Yep, it's absolutely beautiful, like, and their food, they prepare it so quickly, but it's always delicious, and it's always, like, the same standard of food.
Mm.
Like, usually you'll go somewhere a few times, and most of the time it's pretty good, and then one day it's bad, But this restaurant, like, I don't know how they do it, like, voodoo or wizardry or whatever, but it's always such good, like,
Nice.
fulfilling food. So, like a good pad see ew, and they get, like, a really smoky flavor in the noodles. I don't know how they do it, but it's beautiful. Otherwise, like a good massaman beef curry or like
Mm.
a Thai chicken green curry. They also do a really nice pepper and garlic stir fry, and it's beautiful, like veggies and like you can get, beef or chicken, whatever your style is. And oh my god, veggies. So good. Yeah. So that's one of my favorite restaurants in all of Newcastle. And we've got a lot of good food there. So yeah, that
Mm.
one's definitely top favorite restaurant. Another food that I like. Okay, yep, Italian. Yep, you knew it already. I do love my pastas and my pizzas. And I'm gonna have pasta for dinner, so this is good. It's gonna get me hungry for it. um, yeah, I'm such a pasta person. Like, give me like sushi or something, and I'll like have a little bit. But if you give me pasta, I could eat like a tub of pasta. I can make pasta disappear, Mike. So yeah. There's a pasta dish called, I believe it's arrabbiata,
Arrabbiata.
and oh my
Yeah,
gosh, it's beautiful. It's like a nice tomato based sauce, but they put a bit of chili in it, and it's so
it's a bit
lovely. Oh my
spicy.
gosh,
Yeah.
I've had a few dreams about arrabbiata pasta. So good. Yeah, and I think in Sydney once I got a really nice arrabbiata pasta, and I haven't been able to like find such a good one since. Yeah. And the last one for my top three favorite foods.
Do you by
Hmm.
chance remember the restaurant name in Sydney?
Good question. I don't think I do.
Because now that
Hmm.
you mention it, I might actually go as far down as Sydney with my parents, so we might actually stop
Oh,
these places out.
yeah. Awesome. Okay. I might have to do a little bit of digging. But I'll find it for you and I'll let you know. Yeah, because it was so
Nice.
good. It was like, I think they had wood-fired pizza as well, so go ham.
Mm.
Yeah, it was, oh my gosh, it was delicious. Yeah, my sister and I shared a pizza and then the arrabbiata pasta, and I was in, like, food heaven, oh my gosh, so good. So I'll let you know if I find it.
Very
And
appreciated.
then my last favorite dish, probably anything my mum cooks. That woman,
Mm.
she can cook up a storm, like she'll look up a recipe and then be like, "Okay, cool," and then just like improvise from it, and like chuck so many extra ingredients in, and she cooks with love, which, really makes food, taste good. And
Yeah.
yeah, so anything that woman cooks, whether it's like a chicken schnitzel or like a, oh my god, potato bake. Oh my, I can't tell you enough how much I love potatoes, It's such a versatile vegetable, Oh my gosh, yeah, so that woman's potato bake, probably the best one you'll ever eat. So good. Yeah.
Now I'm
Yeah.
actually getting hungry again, and
I know, me
that we
too.
just ate, and
Yeah, man, oh my goodness. Oh, yeah.
nice. Um, yeah, those were some cool recommendations, and well, I reckon, except for your mom's place, these are all places that people um can check out. If someone finds themselves in Newcastle, make sure to, because I love Thai food as well.
Oh,
So
yeah. So
definitely
good.
make sure to check out the Grain. And yeah, the place in Sydney. If I find out, I will keep it for myself forever.
It'll be a well-kept secret.
And
Hidden gem.
yeah, I always love to visit Italian places as well. So if
Mm.
if there's a good one to go to, I'll definitely be keen to know.
They had really good garlic bread too. Like
Oh.
half of my soul is made of garlic bread. Like I love garlic bread. That was such a good one. So I'll definitely do some digging for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries, Mike.
Um, so yeah, I feel like we chatted about a bunch of stuff, and we kind of also touched on um, like an outlook for the future already a little bit,
Hmm.
but um, that's also something kind of part of the painting the picture of a person. So
Mhm.
kind of what do you um and yeah, maybe we are just repeating some things, but what are you seeing, how are you seeing yourself in the future? What are the things that you see yourself putting energy into?
Mm.
What are some plans, some dreams, some aspirations?
Oh, okay. Mm. Definitely a lot more travel. Yeah, I think. building up the confidence now and kind of, learning the foundations of what it takes to travel somewhere new and, meet people and go to new places. And yeah, so definitely a lot more travel in the future. That Europe trip, hopefully in the
Yes.
next few years, I'll do a bit more saving up and then she'll be good to go. In terms of dreams, I guess just kind of stop procrastinating, um, I've had a few dreams over the years and I've kind of always just put them on the back burner, because there's always this fear of, oh, what if I, don't do very well in it or, get
Mm,
rejected or something like that. So, yeah, I guess kind of just, yeah, following those dreams a bit more and the things that I'm passionate about. Yeah. I also want to write a bit more of my own poetry in the future. So,
oh,
yeah,
that's
I
very
used to
cool.
write quite a lot a few years ago. I think it was just a good way of, expressing emotions and just getting things out and on a page or in my notes app on my phone,
Yeah.
which is endless. So yeah, I definitely want to write more poetry. And I find as well when I'm out in nature, I get super inspired and I'll just like, things will just pop into my head and I've like got to write them down. And yeah, or if I've like been out in nature for the day, before I go to bed, I like start having all these ideas. And of course, I have to write them down because when I wake up, I'm like,
That's,
oh, what was I thinking about last night?
yeah.
I'm terrible for that. Yeah, so definitely writing a lot more. Yeah. And then also, I used to play a lot more piano,
Oh,
so I really want to get back into that this year and hopefully, sustain that for the future. So I'll be a pro by the time I'm like, 80. I'll be the, you got the crazy cat lady. I'll be the crazy piano lady. um, yeah, but definitely focusing a lot on, yeah, travel, just good hobbies. Also just building communities wherever I go because obviously I've lived in Newcastle for pretty much, my whole life. Um, yeah, so I really just wanna when I do travel and go to all these places that I dream of, I'll be able to, make connections and just have, yeah, a community of people around the world. I think that would be yeah, I'd be sick. Yeah, and, I've made a good start because 'cause I've made a nice friend with you, Mike, so, yeah, it's been pretty groovy so far. Yeah, in terms of other aspirations, just keep having good days, keep just enjoying the small things, and, yeah, just working on finding peace in nature and in myself and, yeah, in those around me. Yeah.
that's all very cool.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, who knows? Maybe you can start by playing uh the hiking guests a little concert in Quinton Lodge.
Yeah, I did not know there was gonna be pianos in the lodges, and I kept eyeballing it off, so I'll definitely ask about that and see if I can, tinkle the ivories a little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember Quinton. I don't know if the other lodges had pianos as well. Because Glade had a guitar, I think. I don't know if they have
Yeah.
a piano.
I don't think there was a piano at Glade. Yeah.
No. No, but at Quinton they definitely
Oh, yeah.
not only the old one, but they actually have a new one as well.
Nice. Mm.
Um, so and funnily enough, I didn't know, I mean, obviously, I didn't know, that you were gonna talk about this because I didn't know you, wrote poetry,
Mm.
but, just yesterday when, we did the episode with Katie,
Mm.
um, she also told us how she used to, actually, um, kind of, guess you would call it commercially, she worked commercially as an artist, so she
Oh.
had her portraits sold, and basically she didn't like all that too much though, like, because she felt like her art needed to be for her, and she
Yeah.
kind of um, lost the passion through that as well, from like doing it commercially and doing it
Yeah.
for other people to sell and stuff like that.
Mm.
And she said the exact same thing that you did though, being here in New Zealand, being in nature a lot more,
Oh, yeah.
it just got resparked, and now
Yeah.
she's on that, creativity train again, and,
Mm.
just gotten into it recently again and just drawing for herself. So, it's
Mm.
nice to hear, that it had the same effect on you as well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad to hear she's getting back into it as well because it can be very healing. Yeah, and just yeah, absolutely good to get some stuff out. Not all of the poetry is pretty, or good, but it's there, and yeah, it's what we're feeling and what we've seen and done. So yeah, it's meaningful. Mm.
And I always say as well, and I used to write a little bit myself as well,
Ooh, Mike.
and also a little bit of poetry, but never to an extent where, and yeah, it was probably like 5 poems in my life, so it really wasn't a lot. Um,
Mm,
but it's just with every creative output, it's just, yeah, it's just very intriguing and how it kind of, yeah, it's mostly for yourself. You're not
mm,
doing it. I just can't imagine. Maybe there are people out there that are just like money, money, money when they write a poem. But
mm.
from my experience, that's a beautiful thing about art. It really is about yourself. Like you are
Yeah.
writing those for yourself. That you are
Mm.
writing them because there is something inside of you that just kind of wants to get it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think especially with poetry, like it's all about human experience, which we all have, and most of the time we all share. We're
Yeah.
all living and usually going through very similar things. But yeah, just like the details and yeah, it's a bit different for everyone. So I think people can definitely connect through poetry, and have had similar human experiences. But yeah, I think when it comes to the details and, depends how niche you write it,
Hmm.
yeah, it's very healing for yourself. Yeah. Mm.
Um, well, I hope that you keep on honing your skill,
Woohoo, me
and
too.
in a few years, I might, wherever I am, grab up a book and be like, "Oh, I just remembered, I don't even know your last name, but I don't need you on this on this recording anyway." But I'll look up the book. I'm like, Dana's poetry,
Woohoo.
nice.
Yeehaw.
Um, so yeah, all the best with that, and yeah, maybe I'll grab your piano CD while I'm at it as well.
Oh,
Beep.
oh, that'd be sick.
Um,
I take payments in advance, Mike. Hand it over.
well, do you take bank transfer?
Oh, sure. I'll take whatever. Oh,
Um, no, but yeah, I enjoyed our conversation. I feel like we wandered along a lot of
yeah.
things, a lot of interesting topics. Hope people is not too hungry right now.
Yeah. Sorry.
um,
Uh,
so yeah, thank you, Dana. Cheers for doing it. Thank you for your time and
woohoo.
just sitting down and sharing all this with us.
Oh, thanks for listening, Mike. Yeah, it's been absolutely groovy. I've enjoyed it immensely. So, yeah, even this has been
Nice.
very healing for me too. Yeah, and
I'm
just
glad.
really good chat.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you had fun. That's very
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
All right. Well, with that, hope you enjoy the rest of your day as well. And bye, everyone.